As you can see, I'm standing in front of ISIS bookstore here in Denver. It's a store that carries all kinds of magic and occult items, everything from how to conduct a witchcraft ritual to coven meetings, books on everything you'd need, crystals, astrology, tarot cards, everything for occult practices. And this lends to a lot of the fascination that young people have with Satanism and the occult. They're able to get their hands on books like I've got in my hand here. We got this in this bookstore. It's called The Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. Satan Wants You. Another one, Necronomicon, which is a book that deals with magic and the occult. They got the Ouija board in there. So there's just about everything in there. The only thing we couldn't find was Dungeons and Dragons, but you could go down to any mall, find any one of your national chain bookstores and get that. Dungeons & Dragons is one of over 300 fantasy role-playing games on the market today. At least 4 million players have accepted the invitation to enter into the fantasy dream world of sorcery, swords, and demons.
Well, actually, the figure by the National Coalition on Television Violence is documented more than 125 cases of either suicide or murder directly attributable to Dungeons and Dragons. In Dungeons and Dragons, what you do is to create a fantasized universe of the mind in which expediency to achieve your goal is more important than any kind of moral frame of reference to your actions. And so for some kids, generally they're very intelligent and they're very imaginative, when they do this, some of them can slip over the edge. It's kind of like it's a training primer. It's as they play the game, they are learning to function by all the rules that are wrong.
D&D is morally deficient, it's spiritually corrupt, it is educationally evil, it teaches evil, and it is potentially dangerous. And the road to the ideals it represents leads to destruction, and that's the only place they lead. I should know.
Movies have done their damage too. Mark Branch, a 19-year-old horror movie buff, stabbed Sharon Gregory to death. Branch, who later hung himself, was fascinated by the slasher Jason in Friday the 13th, saying this: he wanted to see what it feels like to kill. Many of today's movies are no more than an introductory lesson to Satanism, witchcraft, and murder.
These kids are getting the idea from somewhere. A teenager doesn't manufacture a desire to see blood or taste blood or to know what it's like to kill another human being. But if they've seen Jason do it, if they've seen Freddy Krueger do it, for that small percentage of people out there who may be borderline psychotic or who have serious drug problems, it can, and in some cases does, tip them over the edge.